When I first came into foster care, I didn't know what was happening or who was going to take care of me. Will something even worse happen to me? Do I get to stay with my sister? I was scared and very sad and wondered if God was still here.
I moved into Miracle Hill Group Home when I was 7 years old.
I was 7 years old when I first came into foster care and started my journey.
I was 6 years old when I came into foster care. When I first came into my family's home, I was nervous.
When I first came into foster care, I was a frightened little 7-year-old girl who my world, everything that I knew, had been turned upside down. I was confused because I wasn't sure why I was leaving my family.
I was mad at the people that took me away from my family.
We've been foster parents for 4 years, and we've had 14 children in our home.
We have been foster parents for about 7 years, and we have had 17 children, but some of those include just one night emergency situations to 2 months to a year and a half.
I've been a foster parent for 7 years, and I've had 16 children.
We have been a foster family for 3 years.
We have been foster parents for 5 years.
We have had 4 children in our home.
My first foster parent family they were great. I enjoyed it. It was more like a family.
They had a big backyard and they had 2 dogs. We went tailgating and boating, and we also went to the beach. Going to the beach is my favorite memory.
Children, they often get placed into a group home, which some of the kids, they really don't need a group home. They need that one-on-one family that they can actually, become their home for a while instead of getting moved to group home to group home to group home.
I think with regard to foster parenting, people just don't understand how big the need is. You read in the newspaper, 2 children were taken into emergency protective custody, or EPC as it's called, and that's sort of the end of it when you're reading the newspaper. It's like, well, where did those children go? Well, they didn't go to Disney World. They entered into a phase in their life where whatever stability they had was removed from them.
We're not perfect. No, I don't think anybody expects us to be perfect, but we can do our best to love the kids and provide them our love and our resources and just take care of them the best we can.
Having a loving foster family made me happy.
It meant the world to me.
Maybe you have just a brief minute with them, but you're teaching them something. You're giving them something, even in that brief window of time. For 2 weeks, it was teaching him to sit up. It was teaching him to eat from a spoon. We had one little girl for 3 years. With her, we were able to walk through the whole process with her of saying goodbye to her parents, transitioning her to an adoptive home. We taught her to choose a different path in life. We taught her that God loved her, and that was amazing.
Through fostering, we feel like we can make the difference in the life of a child because it's certainly tough for them. It's hard for us as adults to understand. Being there at night to tuck them in and sometimes just hold them and help them understand what's going on. I can't imagine leaving them without a family to work through this on their own.
Miracle Hill just has such a great support system. Whatever's going on, they let you know, and they're there with you all the way.
When we can demonstrate the restoration of a family, the gospel is shown to those kids, and when we have the opportunity to do that, that's a bigger story than we are, and it's an awesome thing to be a part of God's story in that way.
Christ said that we're not to store up treasures on earth where rust and moth destroy, thieves break in and steal, but we're affirmatively to store up treasures in heaven. I'm certain that foster parenting falls under that. So get off the fence. There's a big need out there.
Miracle Hill Foster Care gives Christians, both single and married, the opportunity to minister as a family and to demonstrate Christ's love. They can make an eternal difference in the life of their foster child, that child's family, their community, and generations to come. If the Lord is calling you to join Him in caring for vulnerable children, contact Miracle Hill Ministries today to find out how you can become a resource foster parent.